Hey guys, welcome back to the home gym. Coach Carp here with new
Taweret, goddess of women and children. And
if you don't know, you can always Google or check out the MCU.
right, Taweret?
Oh, so he's the smart one, hey?
Mikolo and GMWD, they teamed up on this one to give you a budget leg curl, leg extension solution. And did they do it? Well, we're about to talk about it. I mean, I've already got tension. Stay tuned to find out what happened. This one, they're saying GMWD did pretty much the frame and the layout of the machine, the stability, and Mikolo came in with their pulley technology. So on these leg curl machines, you may have seen things like Lions Cool, Rit Fit, some of these other budget combo plate loaded machines that do leg curls and leg extensions. But all those have some type of weird ratio, 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-3 ratio. Mikolo and GMWD are claiming a 1-to-1 ratio. Is that true? Well, we're going to dig into it and see. Now, my first impressions, putting this together, it does seem like a quality home gym piece. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's commercial grade. Now, GMWD does have a commercial grade leg machine, or what they call a commercial grade leg machine, that's going to be thicker steel and something that you may want to look at. I'm comparing this more to the Rit Fit, Lions Cool, other budget machines like GMWD, some of their other line. Now, this is version 1 of this machine. Some of these other companies are on version 2, 3, 4, 5, I think maybe even 6 in some companies. So did they get it right on this machine? I think they did. These two teaming up, because what you have on here is you have multiple adjustments. So even if you're a bigger guy, a bigger gal, and you need something with a bigger seat, or you're worried about the stability, this one is very sturdy. There's no rocking side to side. I'll throw B-roll clips and things on here showing you me using it. I've tested the pulley ratio. They say it's 1-to-1. It's very close. You put 45 pounds in there and it feels like 40, which is much better, because on Rit Fit and some of these other companies, I had 9, 10 plates on there, repping it for sets of 10. There's no way I can do that on this machine. And that's why I'm saying that is from using my crane scale, adjusting it to the leg point. So it's really close to 1-to-1. I got slightly more than 1-to-1, just something to be aware of. But there could be some variance in there on that scale measurement. So when they say it's 1-to-1, it's very close. It's not like you're putting 5, 6 plates on here and it feels like you have 1 plate on there. That's not the case with the machine. Put a couple plates on there, it feels like the way that you're putting on there. And the way they've done that is just the way they ran this pulley and going up under this cam, or sundial if you want to call it. It's more of a sundial. It's a circular pattern. It has laser cut holes and laser cut numbers. And the numbers they skip a hole, so it's every other hole. But you have between 1 to 25 adjustments on the sundial, which gives you a lot of versatility and adjustments. And then also on the foot roller, they give you 1 to 7. And it's the same thing. They skip a number every other hole. So it does have numbers on there, but it is like 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 1, 3, 5, 7, all the way to 25 on the sundial for the selector. And they both have selector pins, so they're just pop pins. And there's a lot of cool adjustment on there. They work very easy. You just snap the pop pin and you're ready to go. On the seat as well, there is a laser cutout here on the side that gives you the peephole you can see. And also 6 levels of adjustment here on the seat. So you can just loosen this pop pin and pull it, and then your seat goes front and back, 6 different adjustments. So the way I like to use it is I have it all the way back. That's one thing I did want to know about this machine is, would it fit bigger folks, taller folks? I'm not the tallest in the world, but I'm right there teetering on 6'2". So I wanted to look at the GMW machine prior to this, and they said it was only for people 5'9" or 5'10" and under. So I wasn't able to use that machine, but I think they did come out with a version 2. So this one looks like it should fit all shapes and sizes with all the levels of adjustment, and it feels really nice. The cheapest steel I was able to find on here was 14 gauge steel on some of the frame, but on the main part of the frame that bears the weight and the rotating foot arm, that is all, this frame here, that is all 10 gauge steel, if not thicker. So it's very heavy duty and reinforced where it's supposed to be. Even down on the front, it has a 10 gauge steel plate. The seat is very big compared to some of the other budget options. I also own the Rit Fit, had it for a while, a couple different versions of it as well. Some things they've upgraded and didn't. I've never owned or used a Lions Cool, but I have a lot of friends that have it. So you can check out their videos like Kinsey or BJ or any of those guys. Maybe I'll throw their links in the description. You can check out them, or maybe I'll throw a clip in and then you can go check their channel and see what they think of the Lions Cool and the other brands. It does come with this little snap ring collar, which is, these are not a great collar, but it's included. But one thing that's really cool about it is they decided to angle the weight horn up slightly. So when you put plates on, the plates are going to be toward the frame. So when it's really moving, you have a lot of plates on there. This will assist a little bit, but they're not going to really walk themselves off because they're going to have to walk themselves off uphill, which is great because when I had my rib fit and other ones, the plates would tend to walk off even with a collar all the way to the edge. If you're filling it up all the way and it's not tilted up slightly, it could fall right off the side in the middle of use, which is going to be a shock and not that great. It does have a little rubber bumper here, which is nice. And because they angled it here, this is all one piece. So it doesn't have a standard pipe underneath. It is this one 2-inch frame. So you're going to want to use all standard plates, your normal 45-pound plates, bumper plates. Now, how many plates can you get on here? That's going to depend on the size of your plates. If you have bumper plates, you're probably going to be looking at maybe 4 plates max, even with mine. I have the fringe bumper, and they're pretty slim for a 45-pound bumper. But something like Strength Co or weighted out plates, you might be able to get 7, 9 on here in the size of that weight horn. Now, unless you're using bumper plates, I don't think you're going to need to go that far out anyway because this is a 1-to-1 ratio. So 3 or 4 plates on here is going to be pretty heavy compared to other budget machines. So that's something to be aware of. You're probably not going to have to load it up crazy. Now, that's one thing they could add on here is a place to attach bands because some of those other ones that were a 2-to-1 ratio or a 2-to-3 ratio with a weird ratio did have some places to put bands and things like that. That's one thing they could do to make it a little bit more beneficial to some of you that don't have a lot of extra plates. You could just add a band there, or if you do bumper plates and you can only get 3 or 4 bumpers on here, then being able to add a band could help. But if you have Olympic iron plate that are usually a 1-inch thickness or something like weighted out, which is even half that probably, you're not going to have any problems, I don't think. And if you are lifting way more than that, then you probably deserve to get a commercial machine. If you're doing high rep sets of 400 pounds on leg extensions, you probably need something different. So for all you folks out there that are looking for a budget piece, I would highly recommend it so far. The time will tell as it holds up, but I don't really see any wear points or anything that are going to be a major deal breaker. If anything, what we worry about is the pad thickness because it's a large pad, and you'll see the vinyl is not the nicest vinyl. It's just a standard vinyl. It's not grippy or anything like that, but it's not slick, but it's not grippy either. So it's okay. It's kind of thin, and you'll see where the seat, they put some metal supports, and there isn't on the back of the seats. You'll see some budget benches. They'll put a large panel there and then cut out to reduce the weight or to make it cheaper. Where on here, the seat does have some of that, but your wear points are going to be the corners where there's no support. So if you're loading up to 400 pounds, which is the weight capacity, the seat could be a problem, and especially on the back, because on the back of the seat, the thing only goes up about halfway. So this whole top portion of the seat is just the wood and padding. There's no brace up here on the top where the seat does have steel braces that spread out. Initially, I was like, hey, that seat's pretty big. It's going to be easy to snap off or break if you're doing heavy weights. But they did put some braces in there. That's what we're going to see. How will that hold up? Will the leg roller bend over time? A lot of times on these machines, it can teeter to one side. Right now, it looks like it's really thick. It's not teetering for me. I haven't had it. I feel like one leg is doing more work than the other. It seems like that's solid too. That could be a wear point or a bend point over time. That's something we'll just have to cheat. Time will tell. I haven't bent it yet, so I don't know if it's going to bend or not. But as of right now, it seems to be very sturdy. Now, I think I went over everything pretty well, described everything, my first impressions of how it feels to me. If you have any other questions or things you want to know, drop them down in the comments below. I'll try to get those answered for you. But overall, I think it's a nice machine, especially in that budget category. That sub $400, I think you can get a coupon right now on Amazon, and it's about $379. So somewhere in that price point under $400, I think it's a steal. I think it's the best one I've seen. It's a fairly compact machine, but it does take up a decent amount of space. Anytime you have a lying leg curl, the seat's going to have to adjust or fold down. It will take up a little bit of space. And I'm okay with that because I actually prefer a lying leg curl. Of all the different ones, I know that people will tell you that seated is better, and there's a study that shows this and a study that shows that. Well, me personally, I've always felt better on a lying leg curl. So I actually like the lying leg curl. That's personal preference, but that's just me. That's what I like. So I'm just letting you guys know that. But this isn't even offered in a seated curl at this time, so does that really matter? But it will fit within a stall mat. So if you do not know, yes, the stall mat is a unit of measure in the garage gym or home gym. So the average stall mat is 4 to 6 feet. So it should fit within there, even with the horn and things sticking out the side. Now there are handles. Now I attached the handles the way they're supposed to be on this machine. But I think if you wanted to save about 8 inches off the back, if you're going to put it in a wall or a corner, you could reverse the handles. And I think I may do that, but this is built how it is in the instructions. I think I'm going to flip the rear handles around and save myself about 8 inches off the back so I can get it either in the corner or over here by my garage door without having to angle it and it running into things. That way I can just hop on and use it when I want instead of having to move it around. Now it is pretty light, so you can move it around. Even with a plate on there, you can see it's not too bad to move around. I know some guys that'll put things on wheels and things like that. This one, you probably won't have to do that because you could slide it around if you needed to. If you need to put it in a corner and then pull it out before you put the plates on it, you could definitely do that because it's easy to move around for the size, but it is very stable. So that's another thing I love about it is there's a little bit of rock in the seat and a little bit of the rock here, but that's where these two joints come together because that's how it transforms. Transformers, you just pull this pop pin and just let it go and it'll transform right into its place. Now, when I first did it, I had a tendency to want to ride that pop pin. I don't know why I was doing that, but if you ride the pop pin, if you hold on to it to want to click it back in, sometimes you'll miss the hole and it won't be clicked in. So just something to be aware of. If you pull the pop pin and let it go, it will go right back in to where it needs to go. So don't be like me. Don't ride that pop pin. Just pull it, let it come out of the hole, and it'll snap back in on its own. When you hear that click, overall, I like all the adjustability. Like I said, you have 1 all the way to 25 levels of adjustment. So no matter what size you are, you should be able to find some type of adjustment unless you're Andre the Giant or somebody else. If you're a normal person, I even have my daughter on here and she's 4'6". So that's probably a little bit too short. She could at least sit on here and get her feet on it and things like that. So if you're taller than 4'6" and you're under 6'6", you could probably work this fine on your home gym. And on a leg curl, leg extension too. What you're going to want is that pivot point to be in line with your knees. And you can see on this setting, I'm able to find a couple settings where I'm able to do that because the seat adjusts front and back. Like on the Rip Fit or something like that, the seat would go up and down like an adjustable bench, but it didn't slide forward and back. And the seat wasn't adjustable. Now this one is not adjustable, but it's on a higher angle, which I like because you're able to get that deep. Your legs are back there. If you have bigger shoes, you may want to be aware that the shoes can get caught on that middle post, but you can always adjust this pop pin and do it that way. But I've got 4 plates on here just to show you. It's not easy. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so that is not easy. That's pretty difficult. It's 4 plates. So I got 3 bumpers on there and 1 iron plate just to show you that you can get that amount of plates on there. If you had bumpers, you could probably at least get 4 on there. We'll throw 1 more on there for fun just to show you. So I got 4 Fringe Sport 45-pound bumper plates on there and 1 strength toe plate. So you can see you can at least probably get 4, maybe 5 bumpers, depending on the size of your bumpers. But that's one thing about this little collar they give you is it's very tiny. So you may be able to get it on there. And that could be the difference in giving you 1 extra plate or something like these magnetic collars. I don't know if it has enough grip to hold it on there. We'll try it with that. We'll try it with theirs because it is their collar. So let's make sure their collar holds. So we got 5 plates on there. We're going to give it a go. Like I said, it may be hard to get in there. You can always undo that pop pin, get your spot, and then ease up on it. Let that one fall back. You kind of want to get it 1 less than you think you need so you get straight. But right there, and I've already got 10. Oh, shit. That motherfucker snapped in half. Live with 5 plates on it. I had the sundial steel snap in half. It just bent the hell out of it. So to be determined. Here from the future, coming back to circle back around on this. Now, you probably just saw that this broke right here on the sundial. And I think what actually happened was the rivets popped on the sundial. So Mikolo did send me out a replacement. What happened on the other one is it basically just, the rivets popped on here and it broke and then got all kinked up. And you can see right here, it's a very thin piece of metal. And even if I can give you a close up, you can see where the pop pin rubs against this metal. So it's only, couple centimeters thick. So eventually that pin could rub on these little cutouts that have the laser cut numbers. So over time, that could be something that it catches on here, just so you guys know. This part could break down because these are all riveted, where this down here on the foot roller, these are screwed in. So if you ever wanted to remove these, you could just unscrew these. But this, if it ever broke on you, you could remove this whole piece. You just wouldn't have all the laser cut numbers all the way around the sundial. But the piece of metal underneath is solid, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. It would still function. You just have to pop the rest of these rivets, or they may all just pop out. But I told Mikolo what I would recommend fixing that is just get rid of these pieces, because it's not just on this. I do have some of them on my GetRx Phoenix Tower that kind of rub against stuff as well. So if that pin is never all the way in, it could catch on here. You can see there's a little gap in there. So either your pin could not be seated all the way and you think you're in and you're not, and you push all that up, that's going to come right off. Or that torque on here, when you have like 400 pounds on it, that torque alone could make these rivets kind of wiggle and wobble. Whatever happens and those rivets pop, that's going to come right off. So just something to be aware of. What I would recommend is they just get rid of this altogether. Or if they want laser cut numbers, which I prefer to have those, but if you can't have them, if it's going to break anyway, I would say just laser cut this sundial, this thick metal piece that's not going to break. You could just etch that or laser cut it some way like they do these, but what they're doing is they're just manufacturing it cheaper, making this and then having this little bolt-on piece. They're not the only company that does this. One down here, it doesn't really rub, but it could, because it's not really getting the same torque as this one, because this one is where you push from. So if that pin, it can slightly catch in there, and it's on the sundial. So if it's not seated all the way, you could just be ripping that right off. So when you're doing it, make sure you have it all the way in there. I've had this for a couple weeks since they replaced it, and I haven't had the same issue. But if it happened to me early on once, it could happen to anybody. So just be aware of that when doing it. I told Mikolo the same thing. Probably the best thing to do is just get rid of this piece altogether. Give you screw ins like they do on this one, where you can choose to have it on or have it off. But eventually, I think it's going to break down on everybody. Just something to be aware of. I don't think anybody's talking about it. You're going to end up with a piece like that. And on the video I showed earlier, when it's all mangled up like that, you really have to just try to pull it all off or prop these off, because it won't function. It won't turn without them. So just something to be aware of. Overall, I think it's a great machine. Little sundial add-on metal piece is going to be your biggest weakness. Also, I think I mentioned it earlier about changing the handles from that orientation to this orientation. I elected to do that as well on this one. I just swapped them around. So it gives you a little bit more. So it will almost fit on a stall mat. This may hang over a few inches, but if you don't have anything over here against the wall or whatever, you should be able to get it in a 4x6 space, especially if you face these on the inside. So that's one thing I recommend. I said I would do it, and I actually changed it and did it. So I've been using it since. I haven't had any problems. Thank you guys for watching. Please go watch one of these other free videos, and I'll see you guys in a few weeks because I'm going on vacation, baby. Woo!
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Home gym. Where'd my little rope go? What happened to my little collar thing? Got some dog hair on there too. Lost my collar.